make you so special? Why did he bless you? Think about it. I woke up this morning. Got a smile when I say that shit. I woke up this morning.
And we're live. We're on camera and shit.
Gang.
Gang. With Ike Simpson.
Word.
And Steven Draper.
What's going on?
Them boys.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I got like a proper podcast jacket on right now.
Is that what you wore for?
I guess so, dude. I was like, yo, podcast time with Jordan. Fuck it, let's do it.
Came to play.
Exactly, dude.
Oh, man.
So you got was that nose ring today?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't talk about it before on air. Like I totally noticed it, and you brought it up before, but I didn't say anything about it because I wanted to talk about it.
I feel you. Like, whenever I got it, like, it kind of, like, it sucked because, like, so I pay the money to the woman up front, and...
Wait, you want to show the camera?
Oh.
I don't even know if they can see that from there, but...
Yeah.
He's got a ring in his nose.
Yeah, it's right here. It's over
On
here.
the right side.
Yeah, on the right side.
You gotta get the bull ring.
That's what I thought you were gonna do.
Nah,
I thought you were gonna
dude.
hoop. I thought you were gonna be hooping it.
Nah, dude, I couldn't. Oh, like on the
I don't know what I'm about to
nostril
show.
or whatever?
Yeah, like right over here.
You see, I'm thought about doing that, and I still might. I don't know, but I'll say that for another time. Right now, this is cool. So, but
That's what the ladies want.
so like I went to the tattoo place or whatever, and paid my $40, and they got me inside this room, and dude came in. He had like piercings like here, there, like near his eyes, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, this dude, okay, I could trust this dude. so like,
Do you think he pierces himself? Do you think people like...
Where'd you go?
I went to Threshold,
Oh,
but
that dude's like a fucking doctor. Yeah.
dude,
Have you gotten a tattoo from there?
I've gotten my ears pierced from there.
Okay.
That dude's got his own like doctoring. It's a doctor.
yeah, it was literally like you went inside, and it was like literally looked like a doctor's office in there whenever you went to.
Oh no shit! And then this guy with like bull rings.
Yeah,
He's got like horns.
stuff it was. It was.
Wait, he has what?
His horns.
I don't know if
Oh,
me
shit.
and you had the same thing, dude though.
Wait, what are horns? You can get like...
you could get like horn. Isn't it like
It's corn.
piercings underneath your skin? I don't know what it is.
It's corn stalks that they shave to shape like corn. They shove it underneath your skin, and then essentially what happens is it turns into bone.
Okay.
Your body adapts to it, and then it turns into bone. Essentially, and like there's people who like buy people's skulls for it and stuff like that.
So you're like... Your bone almost like morphs into this shit? Or...
It like the cells grow into the corn stalk, and then it turns into like bone. Allegedly, I'm not a doctor, but
That's like really bizarre, but also really fucking cool at the same time.
That's like something you'd see at like a Marilyn Manson concert. Or
yeah.
something like
So
that.
like a lot of people, it's like a thing. Like a lot of people will be like, oh, like if I got horns, right? They'd be like, hey, I'll pay you $50,000 now for your skull when you're dead.
What?
Yeah. Like people pay for that stuff.
But you're never gonna see that money.
No, you get it now. Before you
Oh,
get it
really?
now, and then you sign a document saying that they own your skull whenever you die.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I literally wear like a beanie on my head every day, and just be like, "Yo, I got $50,000. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna get this from."
I'd be worried, like, if you make the deal with the wrong person, like, who knows? Like, they could be like, out for a hit. Like, I want my skull today.
No headshots, straight to chest, save the skull.
Yeah, clean slice the neck.
Yeah.
Oh man, be like, "Yeah, I got Satan's skull right here."
I literally killed Satan. You know how hard that would look though? Like
That would
all
be-
the bitches. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, like once again, like I was in that room, and he shoves the needle through my nose, and I'm like, all right, cool, He's like, beforehand he was of course.
What are you
like,
saying this with a needle in your nose? Or?
Well, no.
Not that it
like
matters.
beforehand, like he's like, all right, you're gonna feel like a pinch on your nose, and I'm like, all right, cool. So he grabs the needle, shoves it through my nose, and then I'm like, all right, cool, it's done. Eyes are running a little bit from there being pressure on my
Like
nose.
the
or
pinching
whatever.
of
the pinching
yeah.
of the needle. And then
We
he's
get it.
like,
You're crying.
yeah. So like,
Okay. You saw.
so like, he's like, oh, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, the ring didn't go through, and I'm like, what does this mean? like what does this mean? He's like, yeah, we got to do this again, and I'm like, all right. He's like, and then he's like, all right, well, I got to get a bigger needle too. I got to get a taper, and I'm like, all right. Person already hurt a little bit, like.
To be fair though, I'd much rather hear that during like getting my nose pierced than like
Later.
a vasectomy. Like,
Oh,
that would suck. That'd be the weirdest time to hear that.
Sorry, we missed. We gotta do it again.
We need a bigger needle. No!
like, all right, I'm done. Screw this. Like, we're doing this another time with someone better. Like, come on.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like he shoved the bigger needle through, and like he's like, it felt like kind of like he was taking his time a little bit, which I mean, it's cool and stuff like that because he already shoved something through my nose in the first place. But it like the second time, I felt like personally it hurt even more because it was a bigger needle just sticking through my nose, and I'm just like sitting there. He's like, yeah, dude, it normally takes a little, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes you gotta shove the needle through your nose maybe 2 times, and I'm just like here with like this needle just in my nose while he's turning around talking to me and stuff like that, and I'm just like, dude, this sucks. God damn it, why did I do like, but yeah,
At this point, you're already committed.
yeah, pretty much. I'm just like,
It looks like, I don't know if it's swollen, but it looks like your nose is kind of drooping.
over
I don't know if it's like swelling that's like on the
It
bottom
probably
of the
is.
nostril.
It probably
Like-
is, to be honest, because I got to put like
So
saline
it looks
stuff
like you have
on
a
it.
black Owen Wilson nose.
Wow. Wow, that's very specific. But yeah, like
A black Owen Wilson nose a little bit.
but yeah, now I just gotta keep up with like cleaning it and all this other stuff. Put like lots of saline and
Yeah, dude.
all this other stuff like 2 to 3 times a day and like some months or whatever. But I'm gonna still continue to clean it so I don't get like. He had some like term or whatever that he said, because I thought like it was like called a keloid or whatever, but it's like an actual different name for it. I don't know it right now, but he had some name, and I just basically so I could keep away from like getting keloids and all that other crazy shit, because I do not want a big old bump on my nose and then.
Is a keloid like a form of infection or something?
Yeah,
I got that I got that in my ear.
Really?
Yeah, it's not. It's
When
so-
you got it pierced?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, it feels like a ball in your ear. It's like calluses over, kind of.
Is it so my sophomore year?
I don't know
of
what
high
it's called
school,
either, but-
I had like a buddy, and we would ice our ears. We put 2 pieces of ice on each side, and we just shoved the earring through. That's like we pierced our own ears.
Yeah.
And his parents actually wouldn't allow this, so we had to we'd take them out and then re-pierce them. Like within a weekend, dude, we probably did it like almost 10 times.
Really?
But yeah. And I had something very similar to that, and it like pussed up, and then actually my freshman year of college, so this is like 3-4 years later, I actually popped it, and like a whole bunch of pus came out. Like I was feeling it one night, like while watching a movie with some friends, and I just popped it, and all this pus was all over my finger, and I was like, finally, because I had that ball in my ear for like years, man.
Yeah, mine didn't pop or anything, and nothing like that happened. But it just was like, it felt like a small like rock.
Okay.
In my
Like that
ear.
hard, really?
Yeah, it was didn't hurt or anything. Just was like a callus kind of.
Okay.
But
Did yours just kind of like swell down and go away, or did? Okay.
over time, I took what happened was I took my earring out because I didn't know it because it felt hard. My ear felt hard, so I took it out and I was like checking it out. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Try to put the earring back in, wouldn't go back in, and I was like, fuck. I was like, I just fucked it up, right? So I was like, well, I can't.
So it already like closed up.
No, the callus was too tight for the needle to go back through.
Wow. So yours must have been really hard.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
So I was like, well, I don't want to just have one earring because if I'm gonna do, my goal was to get my ears gauged. But
Okay.
I was like, well, if it's not gonna happen, then it's not gonna happen. So I just took them both out.
For some reason, I thought you did, but then I'm probably thinking about like someone else who had.
No, I faked plugs one time. I fooled like a ton of people thinking that I think I went to school and then I was dating Kristen at the time, and I had 2 black magnets. I don't know if you guys remember those black magnets that you got like stack and stuff like that.
I'm
like
not
you could
familiar,
put them
to be
on.
honest.
Like they were just like genuine magnets that people like threw onto
they're like
their
those-
refrigerators.
But also earrings of the same.
No, they're like literally magnets. They're like little circular magnets.
Yeah, the little black magnets, and a lot of people just use them to put up like pictures onto their refrigerator.
Okay.
And I had like a stack of them, and so I took 2 or 4 of them, and I took 2 each, and I put them like on my ear because they fit my earlobe perfectly. Like you could still see my earlobe, but they still like fit within it. And I remember I went up to my girlfriend at the time, and I was just like, yeah, I got plugs, I got my ears gauged, and she was like, how did you do that? And I was like
So quick.
yeah, I was like, oh, they just use a larger needle.
Like a whole bunch.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, whatever. And,
Just that easy.
and then I stuck a plug through it, and they're like, don't take this out forever. And she bought it. Like after a while, she was like,
I totally believe it. I really would.
and she was like, oh, like, all right, I guess that's fine. She's like, you actually kind of look good with them, and then I went along with it like for like a day or 2, and I convinced like 4 or 5 other people. And you may have been one of them.
I feel like you came
I
up
think
to
you
me,
were, yeah.
and then it was like, yo.
Because I went to your house. I remember now. I drove to his house. And he got in the car. I remember it specifically now. He got in the car. I rolled up. This is back when I had a Honda. And he was like, looks at me. He's like, what did you do? And I remember I was like, dude, it was a whim. I went out and I got my ears gauged, bro. And he was like, and he was totally like, didn't even hesitate. Was like down for it. It's like, dude, they look tight, bro. Yeah, dude,
I didn't understand.
Like,
Wait, like down for it? Like you were trying to get some too?
No, like he was cool that cool that I got him.
So like I didn't understand the premise of like how like the way to gauge your ears and stuff like that. Like, whenever I seen it, I was like, yo, like that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real cool.
It's also supportive friends.
Yeah.
And so,
but not to this asshole right here. He can trick me.
and then later on, like I literally had everybody at my girlfriend's house at the time. She was my girlfriend at the time. She's ex now. But everybody was over there, and I was just like, so I gotta admit something, guys. Pulled them off.
Oh, I bet everybody's like,
And they were like,
Well,
oh my god, you're such an asshole, blah blah blah. I was like, they're like, why did you do it? Tell us, you let it drag on for so long. I was like, I know, I couldn't help myself.
committed to the joke.
once everyone believed it, I went through it. I was gonna tell you guys. Then after that, everyone was like, "Whoa, that's cool." Then I was like, "Yo, like, let's keep it going."
Yeah, it was like one of those things where it was literally like a McLovin thing, like from Superbad.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
totally.
Where he just kept on going with it and with it, and he never. Yeah, it was exactly like that.
Keep digging deeper.
And I was like, how the fuck am I gonna get out of this? I was like,
You know what?
I'm just gonna pull him off.
The fake.
Well, that's actually perfect. Like there, and then just putting the arms out like that.
Like, sorry guys,
I mean, like,
I'm a fucking phony. So.
that's funny.
Everything you ever said was a lie.
Yeah, nobody was really too mad. They were just, it was kind of fun, but yeah, it was a good time though.
Sometimes you just gotta keep the joke going in order to like satisfy your own needs.
I was,
in order to get to
I was
needs,
satisfied.
Oh, dude, I've been taking those out as one of the most satisfying moments of your life.
Well, and they fucking hurt.
You're able to
too.
persuade all those people.
Yeah, and so when I took them off, I was like, and then I was like, I don't even care that you.
That's even more committed. You're committing with pain. You're in pain all day long. You're like,
going back home and like treating his like fake gauges like taking a bra off or something like that.
Dude, I would legit like go into I was like, hey, I gotta go take a shit. They're like, it's like the 5th shit you've taken today, and I go in the bathroom and take them off and just rub my ears. Oh my god. Well, how much longer can I keep this up? Like,
it's like fake boobs with fake gauges. Oh, that's funny.
Oh man.
Well, you were another thing I wanted to talk about specifically with you, Steven, was you were stationed in South Korea, right?
Yeah.
For how long was that?
So I was there for a year, just a little over a year. But
did you guys keep in contact at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That was kind of like when we kicked off our whole like YouTube idea that we had.
Okay.
Because he came to me and was like, oh, like I've been talking to Alex and we kind of want to do this and blah blah blah. And then he was like, whenever you get back, let's see what we can do. And I was like, all right. So I was like, cool. So he like legitimately waited for me to get back to start this whole thing off. And then that's when I kind of when I was deployed is when I brought Thomas into it.
Okay.
After Korea was when it kind of kicked off.
So were you kind of like kind of speculating and kind of doing some planning for the YouTube channel, like some preparation work in your own mind kind of deal?
Sorta. It was harder because I was in a different country and I didn't know what they were talking about. I didn't know what the plan was. So I just kind of like, at the time, I just put it in the back of my head and I was like, all right, cool. Like this is what I'm gonna do when I get back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I just kind of prepared myself for whatever they had planned. So, but yeah, at the time it was just kind of like put in the archives until the time comes, and we just kept in contact, and a lot of it was through like Facebook and video games. Like we played a lot of GTA together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we just talked about it over GTA.
Probably leveled up like so much, that time period.
So
just on GTA.
Yeah, I've never had like any like online video games, but that's a super social way. I never realized that. But like just playing video games, that's a really good way to socialize.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, cause I remember one time, like me, like okay, so in GTA 5, there's a mission online specifically, and like.
keep going.
It's Charlie here. But anyways, there's this mission to where it's like on GTA 5 to where you kind of gotta be like super just like on par with everyone.
Oh yeah.
So like
the sniping one. Yeah.
So like there's this mission on there to where you gotta like sneak onto this base and like take out these guards, and you gotta like literally be in sync with like everyone that you're playing with. So there's like a four.
So a lot of communication.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like in order to pass this one in particular.
It was like one of those things where it's like, all right, I got the top guy, you got the bottom guy. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you have to shoot at the same time.
Simultaneously.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because if one guy got shot, then the other dude's gonna be like, what the and then everything's gonna go into haywire, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then like literally like this alarm rings off, and then you just fail and you got to do it all over again.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is a lot of communication with like the video game community and stuff like that. Well, specifically, I know like Xbox. I don't know about PS or not PS, PlayStation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I know about Xbox. I need to get a PlayStation though, because I just want to get some games on there. But yeah, that's kind of the way that we kept in contact to, like he said, and just relayed ideas to each other and stuff like that, just through Facebook and, like he said, Xbox and things like that. But the easier way for us to communicate with each other for sure, like, was Xbox, because then there's like no billing.
True.
Like, and all that other crap. Like,
yeah, like phones and whatnot.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so, because I mean, like, sometimes, like, if like it was something like I felt like was important, then I go ahead and like call him, and then he'd always have like these random numbers, like 97145, like, and it wouldn't even be like 7-digit phone numbers or whatever. It'd be like some random like numbers.
I was using what is it called, a VPN.
Okay, what's that?
So a VPN is like, and it kind of it masks your oh man. So every electronic device has like an address, like a hard address, and it kind of masked that because you didn't want to pay for like fees going overseas. And so what a VPN did is it made it seem like you were calling from within the States.
Okay.
Kind of like an illegal way to call people.
Okay.
So I was like,
but all the people probably figured that out, and then like.
Right, but like all VPNs still, you know, you can just download them on your phone. And so that's what I did. I just downloaded through my phone, and then I would just hit up Ike.
Is it kind of the same deal with like a torrent browser with like the dark web or something?
Yeah, sort of.
Kind of masks your IP address.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it makes it seem like you're so it tells the internet that you're actually calling from within the states, so you don't get charged.
Oh, that's smart.
So yeah.
But he never actually did that on the record.
Yeah, no, that was, I didn't do that. That was another guy. That was
Totally not me.
Yeah, named Stefan. His name was like
Stefan. I didn't think about that one for a second.
Cause I'd all like anytime it'd like be some like it'd be maybe at some random time, and then I get like a random number, and it's just like, who the fuck is this calling me? Like, what is this number? Then
well, it was
like,
yeah.
Then I'm like, oh yeah, probably Steven. Answer the phone, and then we just exchange ideas.
It was always like
I'm about it.
it was always like super late at night for him because it was in the morning for me. So
Oh yeah, what was the time difference?
it was 24 hours difference. So by the time when I was up and awake, or actually when I would like at nighttime for me would be like
Wait, 24 hours difference. How does that work though?
So we were a day ahead.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not really familiar with the time zones. So there were more than 24 time zones. I just kind of assumed it was every section of it is only 1 hour, and then it's only 24 total around.
I thought it was like the state, that was like more of a states thing, wasn't it? Or,
Yeah. Well,
I'm not really sure.
When it comes to
I have no idea.
when it comes to traveling, like anywhere outside of the states, is typically going to be either a day ahead or a day behind. So, and it's not like exactly a day. It's going to be like at nighttime for me is going to be daytime for them. You know what I mean? So like in the evenings when I would be on Xbox in Korea, like evening and nighttime, it would be like morning or noon time for them.
So you guys probably found like a time of the day that it worked for both of you, and just kind of got consistent with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like whenever we needed to get into contact with each other, we kind of like, I guess in a sense, kind of kept tabs on like time and stuff like that. Because I feel like, did you? I don't even know. Like, did you more so have like something that was like, all right, like it's this time in the States or something like that, so I should do it?
No,
this,
I just kind of said fuck it.
I was like instinct or something.
Yeah, I was like, if Ike's gotta wake up, then he's gonna wake up. Like that's the kind of friend I am. I was like, hey, if he's sleeping, he's not gonna pick up.
Fuck him.
So like, he's just gonna look at his phone and be like, fuck this guy. Like, cause like, you know what I mean? That's kind of the relationship that we have. So.
Did you ever get close to the North Korea border?
Yeah, I went near the DZ, I think it's called, or something like that, and I went.
Is that the place where you can like walk? Apparently, it's like an underground tunnel or something between the two, and they have guards.
We didn't do any of that. I don't know if they have that or not. But we just did like a military movement where we had an exercise, and we moved all of our equipment up there, and we do it like twice a year.
Okay.
And every time we do it, Lil Kim freaks out.
Oh, dude, I was literally thinking.
Yeah, we call him Lil Kim.
Thinking of the fucking like the '90s like female rapper. Whenever you said that,
What's that song? Is it Lip Gloss or?
oh, dude, I don't even.
I know you're talking about Lil Kim.
Cause like she's like a '90s rapper, and she was like along the times of like whenever like Biggie was a thing, and like I think she had a song with like 50 Cent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was like known for being like super just like. I freaking hate saying this word, but like, cause I don't believe in this, but like super like, I'm gonna say risque with her lyrics is what I'm gonna say. Cause so she'll more so like talk about like, you know, slobbing on some knob, grinding on some wiener, you know.
I like how you're trying to make this as children friendly as you can. Like, this is not like,
just slobbing on the knob.
The doorknob.
Stuff like that.
Executing an Alaskan pipeline.
Things along those lines, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't know. That's kind of what I just imagine. I just imagine like, have you seen her now though?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so like I'm gonna.
Where are they now?
Oh my God, yeah, dude. Hold up,
Lil' Kim.
I'm about to show you right now. I'll show you where Lil' Kim is right now. I'll show you.
Is she by chance in She's not in Biggie's movie, is she?
Yeah, she is.
Okay, I think I am familiar with
This is what she looks like now.
She looks like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
She was black before.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Yeah.
So she literally looks like Michael.
Dude, for fucking sure.
Sorry, but we totally got on that whole tangent with you.
Like,
You were saying every.
that's back then.
Oh, nice.
Shit. Titties up. But yeah, so anyways, we would move up there, and the little Kim that lives up north in North Korea, he would freak out, and he'd always think that like some shit was going down. So he'd always like get his guys prepped up.
Was it
and everything.
tense?
Yeah, so we were always like, literally like every night we woke up at like 3 o'clock to make sure that everybody was there, and they were like, what, you know, what are you doing? You know, like, or not, what are you doing? Where's your inventory? Blah blah blah. And we would be like, you know, what the fuck's going on? Like, why are we up at 3 o'clock in the morning? I just want to sleep. You know what I mean? I've been in my gear all day. Like, this is BS, right? And our captain was like, all right, well, we're having it was like a red call or something like that, and it's where like it's pretty much where they have a warning call go out because the satellites saw Kim Ji-nan or whatever the fuck his name is, Kim Ji-wee or whatever. He was like moving missiles and stuff.
Okay.
He was moving military to the forefront to the border. And so
And you guys had to respond? You were to respond and do that?
Well, yeah, but they were also like making sure that we were ready. So they were like, all right, you guys have everything? Are you guys good? Like, because if shit hit the fan and he decided to, you know, toss a few very large grenades over, then we had to respond. So, luckily nothing happened. Obviously I'm here and I'm fine. I don't have any PTSD, but, I mean, the only PTSD I took from Korea, especially South Korea, was all the drinking that I did. But like, that was like the closest I've been to the DMZ. I think it's called. Yeah, the DMZ.
Okay.
Demilitarized zone.
So was it, whenever they were waking you up at 3 a.m., was it pretty relaxed, or was it like really intense?
It was like they like not kicked in the door, but they swang the door open and they'd be like, all right, everybody get up, get your shit, get outside, you got 2 minutes. And we're just like, oh my god. And so we're out there in our skivvies because we don't have enough time. It's the dead of winter, you know what I mean? And the only thing that's keeping us warm is our vests, our bulletproof vests that we got on, and we were just tucking our hands inside. We're just like chilling. And I got my boots on, but I got my we call them silks, right? It's just like long johns, kind of. And I look goofy as fuck, but like that's what you fight in if that's what you gotta fight in, you know what I mean? So I was like sitting there and I just got my boots on, I got my gloves on, I was wearing fucking long johns and a t-shirt, and just like, fuck man, it's like 15 degrees outside. I gotta go inside.
Oh, suck. At 3 a.m.
Yeah, they're calling everybody outside because they want to make sure that everybody's there and everybody's got their inventory. They're like, all right, do you got your rifle with you? I was like, yeah, I got my fucking rifle. I just want to go inside. Like, you got your vest with you? I was like, it's fucking on me. Yeah, go inside.
I got everything, okay?
So yeah, it was. That was the most intense it had gotten there. Other than that, it was like Ike was saying, it was a lot of like drinking and stuff and partying because it was like a stressful environment, but in the same sense, it was also like living in New York, man. There's just, you could go anywhere and fucking rage.
Really?
Yeah.
Where were you living at?
I was in Suwon, which is it's like 10 minutes outside of Osan, which Osan is an Air Force base.
Okay.
And Suwon is a Korean Air Force base.
Okay.
And they had it was just like a detachment almost for the army, so we had like, it was like split between the two. But anyways, you go down in any small city, large city, if you go down to Seoul is like the main, anyone and everyone knows what Seoul is. Seoul's
right.
like the
that's the capital, right?
Yeah, like the capital.
It's a pretty big city, right? It's
massive. Huge. It's huge, and it's like 3 times the size of New York. And
is it really?
Yeah.
No, what?
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah. And
I knew it was one of the biggest in the world. I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah.
Do they have like
shit.
that like I don't even know what that is. It's like some like crazy like pointy looking building or something like in the, in the
it's
center of the
Seoul
city.
Tower, yeah.
Okay.
Seoul Tower, yeah. I went up in that. That was pretty cool. They got like cool museums and shit in there.
Okay.
And that, and then Hyundai. That was it. So yeah, and like it sounds just like the car because like that's where the car manufacturer is. It's the city of Hyundai, and that's like the wealthiest city, or at least from what I understand.
Because of Hyundai?
I don't know why.
Okay.
But I just know that it's like you would walk down the street to go to the clubs, and there would be like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff like that, like parked on the sidewalks. You know what I mean?
So like Dubai type stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, and like they
that's wild.
over there they have cameras everywhere, so they just leave their keys in the front seat. Or
They're that confident in the security of their
Yeah.
I would have took one for a
And
ride.
so well, and Korea there's super strict gun laws in it, which is like a good and a bad, right?
Okay.
So the good side is like nobody has a fucking gun, right? So nobody can like stick anybody up with a gun.
That's also the bad part.
But that's also the bad part because like the Yakuza literally run the area. So if there's so I know Yakuza is Japanese, but the Yakuza does exist in Japan. And if there's a shootout, the police won't even.
You mean Korea?
Yeah. So they're big in Korea. The Yakuza is also big in Korea. And so,
So
if there's
it's big in Japan and
Korea. Yeah.
what is a Yakuza?
The Yakuza, it's like
Am I
Japanese mafia, pretty much.
Yeah, Japanese mafia.
Oh shit! Okay, wow.
Yeah. And so
that is it them, and it's another. It's pretty much like a blood and Crip type thing, like down there, except mafia style. Like it's Yakuza, and there's someone else down there for some reason that I think that's in Japan as well.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know. All I know, like in Korea, is whenever the Yakuza have like a shootout, the police they'll just wait. They'll just wait for them to get done. They'll literally roll up and they'll stop and they'll just wait for the Yakuza to stop shooting each other, and then like they'll go in and investigate because they don't have guns on them.
Well, the police cannot carry guns.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Well, I didn't realize that the gun laws were that strict that the police can't carry any.
yeah, from what I understand, like they don't carry any guns. They're like really good at like martial arts and shit. That's what from what I've seen and stuff.
Do you know what kind of martial arts by chance?
No idea.
Okay.
But I mean, martial arts doesn't do you any good if you're gonna get shot in the head.
True.
So,
Unless you're Bruce Lee.
yeah, unless you can stop a bullet with your teeth. But so they don't. Yeah, like I said, they don't have any of that, or they don't have any guns. And like, even if you do go to a shooting range in Korea, the gun is like mounted on like these 4 stakes, right? And you can only move it like this much, and it's only one gun, like in this.
Dude, that's pretty intense.
So
That's crazy.
you don't really get the recoil of guns either.
No,
do
you just like pull the trigger,
Gotcha.
and then like that thing, whatever it is, that crate holding thing, just holds it. So you're just like, oh, this is so fun! Like,
I feel so powerful.
I'm an American man. Sorry, all you Asian people out there. I love you guys, by the way. I think Korea did that for me. So, I like you meet so many foreigners that like you're just like, dude, I want to meet everybody.
Do any of them? Yeah, but they change your perspective.
Yeah.
Do any of them speak English? Is it pretty common to speak English? over there?
So the rich ones speak like Australian.
Really?
Yeah, because
Wait, so like English with an Australian accent?
yeah.
No
so, like,
shit.
So like, from what I understand, if they grew up rich, their parents typically send them to Australia to learn English, and then they'll come back and they'll have an Australian accent. Example: I went down to Seoul one time, got trashed with one of my buddies, and we're on our way back, and we're trying to figure out the train systems.
Okay.
And we're sitting there like looking at the map, and we're like, I don't know what train I need to take. And this Korean girl walks up, and I'm thinking she's gonna have a Korean accent, right? And I'm terrible at accents, so I'm like,
hello, mate.
And she comes up and she starts speaking to us with this Australian accent, and we're like,
dude, that would catch me off guard
That'd be like-
so much.
I have no idea. Like, not only am I hungover, but this Asian chick is talking to me in an Australian accent. Not like that is the biggest.
I feel like what?
aphrodisiac ever. Like my
Rubbing
hungover
the
went away
temples.
immediately, and I was just like the moment she started talking, I was like, let me take you home. like, everything about you, I will marry you right now.
Come with me to America.
Yeah. You're not only are you like, and it wasn't like she was like some weird Asian. Like a lot of the rich Asian culture. Well, I'm sorry, I say Asian culture. I don't know a lot about Asian culture. I know I know somewhat about the Korean culture. But a lot of the Korean culture out there, if they are wealthy, if they are girls who are wealthy, or even guys, you know.
Okay.
Like, you can see it. Like, they're gonna be, like, you know, obviously their fashion's gonna be, like, on point. They're gonna be wearing all kinds of Gucci or whatever that they wear out there.
Yeah, it seems like the Asian culture, and I'm kind of generally speaking as well again, but whenever they do have money, they're extremely flashy with it.
Yeah.
It seems like,
And
I guess Americans.
Because
are
I've seen
too.
like particularly like whenever you go to like, well, this is me just kind of seeing on the internet and stuff like that, just like in Japan and stuff like that, like they wear some stuff, man. Like they're definitely
well,
very
not only that, but like if they're wealthy, the best way to tell if an Asian girl, okay, for guys it's a little harder because as a guy I can't really tell if another guy's wearing a suit, right? And I don't know if it's like a $10,000 suit or not, right?
True,
I don't know anything until he gets in his car,
right?
That's how guys judge guys, right? Not necessarily, but like maybe if I see his watch or something, right? Then I'm like, okay, this guy's
a
got
nice
money.
watch.
Yeah, and but as a guy looking at a girl, if this Asian girl is not only thick, but she's got like tits, she's got ass, like she's got like a doll's face, and she looks westernized, and she can speak English, this girl's got money. Like,
okay,
like yeah, she's got.
Wait, like I understand all that except the tits and the ass. Like, how does that like represent money?
Because they get like a lot. Well, not a lot of them because some of them are born with it. But if they're not, they usually get fake tits.
Implants.
Yeah,
Okay,
implants and stuff like that.
that's the answer.
And so this girl, I don't know if her shit was fake or. If
you guys
it's
ever
real or
felt
whatever,
fake boobs by chance?
Yes.
I
don't know.
I never had it until the other day.
I don't know.
I went to a strip club and this girl gave me a lap dance. My buddy paid for it. It was pretty cool.
Strip club, dude.
First time ever going. I've never been before.
Dude, that's so much fun.
When did you? You said when did you go?
Do what?
You went when?
Probably about a month and a half ago ish.
Okay.
It was super random. Like
Which
we were
one
just
did-
out at the bars and just one down in Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
And
That's literally how it always happens.
it-
It's random.
Yeah, just super random. Like somebody threw out the idea and we were all about it. I was like, yeah, I've never
You
been before.
cannot give me like I cannot be 5 shots of tequila deep and if you mention strip club, it's over. I'm like, let's fucking go.
You're just like casually drinking at your place and words with friends. Oh shit, it's cool. We'll clean up later. Playing words with friends and strip club comes up on there, and you're just like let's go, let's go,
Dude. Because I still remember whenever we decided to go, like, because I think we were, I don't even remember. I think it was like an Oktoberfest night or something like that, and like we were drinking and stuff like that as well. And I think like I forgot, like we got back to Travis's house, I believe, and then we tried to convince.
Oh,
we tried to convince Thomas.
that's when we were drinking the that orange juice and something.
I forgot.
Was it orange juice? No, it was coconut and something. It was like rum and something else. Like coconut rum or whatever. But yeah, and then we went out to the strip club.
Dude.
This is a good time.
Worst, like it was a good time, but it was the worst decision ever. 'Cause you just don't realize how much money you spend until you look at your account and you're like, "Wow,
Yeah.
like, I had too much fun. Like, I should have held back."
And then the last time I went was with Thomas again.
Okay.
He wasn't there, fortunately enough, and for him, and
You guys called me though.
yeah. So we were like, all right, let's like go down to Main Street. I had a couple guys come down from. No, I had one guy come down. One of my buddies came down from Kentucky, Fort Campbell, and we were like, oh yeah, like You know, we'll just go down, we'll have a couple beers, it'll be cool, we'll be kosher, whatever. And we start drinking. And of course, Thomas is like, oh, let's do like tequila shots. Oh, let's get a bunch of tequila shots and all this stuff. And no, I'm just kidding. That was me. And, so
This dude, man.
yeah, so we had a couple tequila shots. We had a couple more drinks. My buddy that I was with also liked tequila shots, which is why I wanted to get tequila shots. So we drank. We moved to another bar. We like bar hopped, met some people. Then we went to the casino. And we fucked around at the casino, met a whole bunch of other people, and then somebody was like, alright, well, I guess the night's ending, like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And I was like, or somebody said something about a strip club or something like that. And I was like, let's fucking go. And we drove out there, and
Worth the drive?
it was just insane.
This dude, man. I remember whenever he like called me that night, and I was literally heading back from some bar because I was hanging out with some other people, and
we spent a shitload of money.
Yeah,
that was moral of the story is that
he always like it's
I was
always
broke.
like that. Yeah, it's
Yep.
literally always like that. Because I remember, like I said that night, I was heading back home, and it was like maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, 2-something in the morning, and then like I get a call on my phone. And, you know, it's Steven, and he's like, yo, come to the strip clubs. I'm like, no, not at all. Not with you. Not with you, dude. I can't go with you. You make me spend too much money. Like, I'm not trying to be broke tonight. I'm going home and I'm going to sleep. Screw this. Like, because I'm telling you, dude, last time whenever we went, me and Steven were the one hurting. Like, I don't know about Thomas.
Thomas never hurts. So this dude never fucking and I don't know what it is and what his drive.
Dude,
this dude literally sits and just chills. And he'll just talk to a stripper about life.
I can totally
Just
see
like,
it being
literally like over there, like trying to make her change her perspective on life. Like, why are you a stripper?
Yeah.
You can be so much better than this. Like,
you can do better.
And then Ike and I are over here like throwing bands. And we're like, we're trying to get fucked.
this is what you're meant to do.
This is your purpose.
And then
That's why you were born. Shake that ass, girl.
And then of course like the one girl who's like, hey, like, do you want to go back and have a good time? It's $400. We're like, no. I just literally threw $20 in the air in ones. I think I'm good for the night.
Sorry if we led you to believe we're bald. We're not.
Exactly.
I'm not a rapper. I told you that. It's a lie.
I have a piggy bank in my house that says stripper money, and that's what it goes towards. I only saved up 20 this month. I'm sorry.
Do what we can.
Yeah, but yeah, he will like philosophize. Is that the right word? Philosophize, or what he's talks about like philosophy and stuff like that with like a stripper.
That's funny. That's actually what cause I was kind of the same way whenever I was asking her like all these questions. I'm like, do you get a lot of lonely guys? Like, because that'd be like a genuine concern if I like had I don't know, say a friend who decided to start stripping. You know, like I feel like some lonely fucking guys go in there.
Yeah.
Well, would you guys agree? Like looking around the place,
I don't even.
There's
like,
some fucking losers. That
yeah,
go strip club.
there's some weird dudes.
When we
who-
went, there was a dude that was passed out, face down on the up on, or not like on top, but he was like sitting next to the actual big stage, and he like passed out head down on the thing, like right there. And then like I think a security guard or something like came up and was like, "Hey man," and like woke him up, and he was like, "No man."
You said, "Did he make you go?"
I'm still drawing bands. And so like the security guard left, and he was just like. Just goes back to sleep. This dude just sleeping in a strip club.
Really?
At this point, yeah.
I can definitely feel that though, because there definitely are like some weird, like whenever I look around, there's definitely like some weirder looking dudes around like that strip club area. Because like I like scan the area a little bit. There's like, you know, that super huge, just like fat guy and his like sweats and stuff like that. With like, you know, you can see the belly button sweat just like chilling on his shirt. With a stripper like not even grinding on his wiener, just like on his freaking like stomach and stuff like that. Just like, and I'm just like looking around. I'm like, I guess I'm the only normal looking dude here.
Yeah.
Which works in my benefit.
But here's the crazy thing too, right? Is even though we're sitting there and like we're like dressed as like normal individuals, we're like obviously like a little younger dudes, right? And granted, you do want to target older guys because the older guys have the money,
right?
But they always went for like the weirder older guys or whatever, right? Which
I'm curious what that is.
Like that's where the money's at. Because they're so lonely. Like, we're not lonely. You know what I mean? We're just there to have a good fucking time and we want to see some titties. Right? like, that's why we're there. You know what I mean? Like, we're not willing. We are, even though we're out to have a good time, we aren't willing enough to spend enough money to fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to go that far. Right? In the right mindset. And so, like, but these guys are willing to just throw. Bam.
And they'll do anything for
it. And then once we spend that little $20 that we got in ones, then we're like, all right, well, I guess it's time to go. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
let's make this 20 left.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and at the same time, you know, we'll spend more money. You know what I'm saying? And that's not saying like to all those ladies in the strip clubs, if you see us, then we'll throw more money if we have to.
But if you do want to fuck us for free, that's cool as well.
We're like
be an epic story.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Undeniably.
Like we'll definitely throw more money if we have to, but we're not gonna like go over the limit and be like, yo, I'll take you to the back room and fuck your brains out for $500. That's whenever I'm gonna be like, no, I'm cool.
Yeah,
I think the goal at that point. I think the goal at that point is like. How much of an impression can I make on this stripper to be like, hey, let me get your number at minimum. You know what I mean? And then like later on, she hits you up after work, type of shit. You know what I mean? Because then that's a win. Totally. You know what I mean? I think, and I'm not just saying like just for us. I mean, the stripper gets, you know, obviously like, and I'm not like, because they're obviously like people as well. But like, she's like, hey, this guy's pretty fucking cute. And I'm gonna get some dick. You know what I mean?
No, there was my buddy was listening to this is one of my roommates at school. He was listening to an audiobook, and I was just kind of like sitting in. I was working on something, and as he's listening to this audiobook, it was literally how to seduce a stripper, like specifically a stripper, not just like a girl. Like it was like how to. Yeah, it was an interesting. They're like, yeah, dancers want to be treated this way because they like affection for this reason. I don't remember what it said. I wasn't really retaining much of the information.
So pretty much like a way to pick the stripper's brain in order to make her sleep with you.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it's
pretty much.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, like honestly though, like if I could be a stripper and dance on strictly women, not to say like, don't get me wrong, I'm cool with gay people. I have a bunch of gay friends. I have nothing against gays. We go down to the Grove all the time. Like, I'm just not gay,
right?
So I wouldn't want to dance on a dude, right? But if it was like, hey, this is a strip club open specifically for ladies, and you are a dude, and you know what I mean, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll go dance on some fine ladies. I don't give a shit. Like, I'll go make money. I'll go dance with some lonely ladies. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, and so when like thinking about like. When I'm there, I'm always like, okay, we're both getting a win here. Like, she's getting the money that she's wanting.
Wait, where does the gay part intertwine though?
Oh, I'm just saying that as in like I'm relating to the stripper. As far as like I would also be a stripper if I got paid as much as they did. You know what I mean?
And I also think he's talking about like if he was a stripper and like, you know, I guess gay dudes were to come in, then he wouldn't have to dance on them. I guess is what you're saying too.
Yeah, like if it was one of those things, if it was like
that's like the most understandable thing,
right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm not against gay dudes, but like a gay dude wouldn't want to go and like he probably would dance on a chick because he's a chick, essentially. But like, well, you get what I'm saying. Like
a chick would dance on a chick too. We actually we brought our next door neighbor who's a girl, and she. We paid for a dance for her, and it was just funny. Like just to see like the look on her face was so priceless.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's also like a kind of contradiction because I guess like if you're willing to pay enough, I'll dance on whoever the fuck you want me to. Like at that point, I guess because if you're talking about like like a gay dude, like I'm sure a gay dude would dance on a straight dude. Right. I'm sure a gay dude would dance on a chick. and I'm sure a gay dude would dance on another gay dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, and a girl would dance on a girl, and a girl would dance on a dude, and a girl would dance on a gay dude.
It's just work. It's work.
Right? So the only thing that, like, we're holding ourselves back at that point. At that point, I'm a straight dude who's only going to dance on chicks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a straight dude who would never, here I am saying, I'm a straight dude and I'm not going to dance on a gay dude.
So, like,
and I'm not going to dance on a straight dude, but I'll only dance on chicks, so now I'm limiting my money intake. You know what I'm saying? So, but if this guy and this guy are also going to pay me the same amount as this chick, alright, cool, I'm going to dance on her, I'm going to dance on him, and I'm going to dance on him.
I feel like the way you would dance to would probably end up being a little bit different as well.
Right.
If it was like a guy.
Like, you want to make it seem like his dick is inside you.
You were being so serious with that other boy, right? And I was like, wait, what?
I don't know about that, but like
Only a man knows how to please a man.
Well, I've heard that's a thing. Like a lot of gay dudes, they're. I didn't realize this till lately, but apparently that's like a thing. Like gay dudes like to try to persuade gay or straight guys to be gay, and that's one of their tactics. Like, you know, like nobody can give a blowjob like a gay guy. Like that's apparently like one of their. And dude, actually, long story short, when I was in San Francisco, I didn't realize this until like a year later. But because I'm the same way, I have nothing against gay people either. And I met this guy who was working at the hostel. He's like the guy working at the front desk, and we talked to him talking about like downtown San Francisco, what it's like, good places to go see. And we ended up having like a good conversation with him, me and my Australian buddy, before we stay there. Yeah. And the next day, I literally just hang out with this dude all day long, and it was super like casual. Like, I mean, like he was super flamboyant and whatnot. Like that was just his personality. I didn't think much of it. And he said a few things throughout the day that were like a little hinting towards like. But I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it was that weird, to be honest. And I guess I'm just too accepting, and I was extremely naive at the time. And the next day we hang out, and then he starts getting weird. Like he starts getting really weird because he realizes like I'm not gonna be persuaded kind of deal. Right. And I didn't realize that till like a year later. Whenever he started messaging me on Facebook, and he was saying some really weird shit.
So it was most likely because like whenever he was like probably hinting at that stuff towards you, I don't know. Did you like shut him down in a sense?
I did. That was probably where I went wrong. I didn't shut him down, but I didn't lead him on either. Like I was so naive and so just accepting of other people. I still am, but like now I would have handled the situation way different. I would have shot that shit down so that like he didn't get anything wrong implied, if that makes sense.
Right. And a lot of times and being military, like there's gay people in the military all the time. Right. And I've legitimately had like a gay dude be like, "Hey, so like, are you gay?" And I was like, "No, like I'm not. I'm straight. You know, are you bi?" "Nah, man, I'm straight. Like I like women." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And we were friends ever since.
Respect.
Yeah. Like he gave me that. Yeah, exactly. He gave me that respect, and I gave him.
I like that straight up. That being like that direct, that honest.
Yeah. And because he was like, he was like, "Okay, cool. Like I'm gay. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't." He's like, "You're a really cute dude," and I was, he's like, "I was gonna hit."
Then you're flattered. You're like, "Yeah."
And I was like, "Hey, what can I say?"
Brushing off the shoulder.
Because I've had some stuff like that, like literally, like I know you've had a worse experience with like I know what it's like felt like to be like catcalled by a dude. Like it's weird. I mean, it's cool and stuff like that or whatever. It's cool, but like I kind of just went along with it. I was like, yeah, man, thanks, dude. It's cool. Blah, blah, blah.
It makes sense. Like you're kind of like you're being desired. It's a little flattering, more than anything. It's just very bizarre. You're like, yeah.
And like.
I don't get like aggressive though. A lot of dudes get like aggressive.
What the fuck are you doing?
Like fuck you. No,
yeah,
I don't think that's the right way to handle it.
Yeah, I'm just like, yo, like, cause like in that certain situation, whenever it happened, cause like I was down on Grove or whatever, and I was with a couple friends, and some like gay dude kind of like catcalled. He was just like, it's like, you cannot be coming out here looking like that, and I'm just like, thanks, dude. Like, I appreciate it. He's like, yeah, it's cool. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, respect, man, great. Like, and I just moved on with my life. It wasn't like nothing serious to where it was like, yo, motherfucker, don't you ever talk to me like that.
Like,
I
find peace within yourself and in your own comfort with your own sexuality. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
pretty much, I guess.
And I knew a dude who was bi when I was in Korea, and he had a threesome with this dude and this chick, right?
Okay.
And I told him, I was like, dude, that's gotta be awesome, because like he's bi.
It's literally getting best of both worlds.
Yeah, like he's getting this cake and he's eating it too. You know what I mean? Like I was like that. Like literally, when he told me that, I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome.
Dude,
Like I've always wanted a threesome, but with 2 girls.
Right.
And like never have I ever wanted a threesome, obviously, like with another dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, did you ask him like would he rather have a threesome with two or one of each or 2 girls?
No, I mean, considering he's bi, like he likes both of them anyways.
Right.
And so he was just like, I mean, and I'm not.
It probably would be the preferred because he's getting best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Deal.
And I'm not gonna go into detail because he told me like details about it, and I was just like,
Well, it's cool that you're that open-minded to listen.
Yeah.
I respect it because so many people like they just shun.
They shut it down immediately and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I'm just like, yo, like, if you like what you like, you know what I'm saying? You can't really change anyone for liking what they like, you know what I mean? They already have their mind established that they like guys, they like girls, they like guys and girls.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? You just gotta learn to pretty much just accept it.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
As long as it doesn't affect me directly,
Exactly, dude.
I'm cool with it.
And if they start getting like flirty and like kind of like almost coercing you to like try to fuck, basically try to get in there, like that's where you got to draw a line. That's that part you got to get a little assertive with them and like push back a little bit.
Yeah, but even then, like I still like I'll give them like if they get flirty and stuff, and I'll give them some leeway, and then but if they get, because I know for them it's fun. You know what I mean? So like if they're like I met his buddy not too long ago. I forget his name.
Ronnie?
And we were talking about presents or something, and I guess it was like his birthday or something like that, and he was like you never got me a present for my birthday, and I was like and I started laughing, and I was like you never got me a birthday for my present, or you never got me a present for my birthday. Here I'm fucking fucked up. I was like, you never got me a present for my birthday, you know what I mean? He's like, oh, I can get you a present. And then I just started, all I did was like laugh, and I just pat him on the shoulder, because I was like, that's a good one, you know, and you're funny, you're gonna give me your dick, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But it was in such a sense that I was like, you know, it was in such a sense that I was like, you know, like I'm not gonna take this any further than it's going. And if he did,
you laughed at,
yeah, and if he did, then I was gonna be like, hey, like, I get it, you're having fun, but I'm straight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Respect my sexuality, I'll respect yours.
Because then that's also unfair to him, because then you're leading him on.
Right.
Totally.
I love Ronnie though. Ronnie cracks me up. He definitely does like the white dudes though, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I'm just letting you guys know right now.
You gave me that eye, you're like, dude, watch out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the first thing, this is the funniest thing, right? The first thing he does, he's like, hey, Steven, he's like, this is Ronnie, man. He's gay. And Ronnie was like, why you gotta tell him I'm gay? And I was like, no, he has to tell me.
That's like me being like, hey, this is my buddy Ike. He's black.
Well, I mean, like, because this is, I don't like, okay, look. The reason why I said that was just so I could just warn Steven just ahead of time.
Yeah.
So, because I already knew what Ronnie was going to do.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, whenever I say Ronnie likes white dudes, that's not a joke. Like,
Yeah.
he likes white dudes.
Yeah.
Right.
And that, like, literally, whenever...
Is Ronnie black?
Yeah, Ronnie's black.
Oh, okay.
So look, soon as that night, whenever I ran into Ronnie was like, I go, yeah, I'm here with my buds. He's like, oh, you're here with some boys, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and then in my mind, I didn't tell him this. But in my mind, I'm like, please, dude, don't hit on him, please. Like, I'm just like, they're not gay.
Well, and
but
it's probably a good thing that you told me, because I mean, and I probably would have caught on pretty quick. But I'm also like, even though, and I'll always fuck with Ike and stuff and talk about like gay stuff, and I'll be like we'll text, or we'll fucking we'll be talking or some shit, and I'll be like, he'll say something, and I'll be like, I'll be like, yeah, dude, I gotta get like this money in or whatever, and I'll tell Ike, I'll be like, yeah, you gotta get this dick in, and then Ike's always just like, oh my god, you know what I mean? But like, I jokingly do that shit, right?
Right.
And so had I not known that he was, and if he had not acted so flamboyant too, because that other guy that I met that was in Korea that I told you about who asked me,
Right.
no idea he was gay.
Really?
No fucking idea. He acted like you and me.
Wow.
Right? And had I continued on being his friend and got closer to him, I would have started making jokes like that shit, and he probably would have thought I was flirting with him. You know what I mean?
The guy that you said was very did it come off as flamboyant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If so, when he like approached me, he was like, "Hey, like, are you gay?" You know, blah 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 blah, and I was like, "No." I was like, "You know, why? Like, why do you ask?" It's like, "Oh, because I'm gay." I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, I didn't even know. Now, had I not known that, had he not talked to me about it, and later on down the road we became good friends, and I started spewing off the shit that I spew off to Ike, right? Then he probably would have thought I was flirting with him. You know what I mean?
Oh, true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm just joking around. Like, I'm not gonna do anything.
Just shooting shit with the boys. Yeah,
you know
totally,
what I mean?
absolutely.
And so he probably would have been like, "Oh shit! Like he actually wants me to put my dick in him." You know what I
Right.
mean? And I'd be like, "No. That's
Chill.
I'm not gay. It's all talk. It's all talk, bro." Like, you know what I mean? You know,
It's like,
so
let's make something of it.
yeah, exactly.
Make a holiday out of it.
So
Well, this is a question I've prepared for you guys that it's a little philosophical. I like it though. Would the world be a better or worse place if everyone looked the same? So if everyone in the world looked the exact same, whatever it is, let's just say Brazilian. Mm-hmm. Everybody looks Brazilian. Is the world a better or worse place?
You mean like same face or like just same
Oh
race?
shit! I didn't even think about it that much. Let's say identical, like literally identical person.
So there would be no genders?
Well, I guess there'd be no like
right.
sexual attraction. Let's say same ethnicity.
yeah, let's just start with race. Don't fucking
just trying to
diving into it, making it way too more
trying to
complicated.
figure it out,
I see
you
where
know?
you're at, right?
So you can still like decipher the difference between people, but everybody's
like
the same
boys and girls
ethnicity.
and stuff like that.
Same
you know,
ethnicity.
yeah, sexuality, but it's all the same.
So we still have genders.
So if we're talking Brazilian, then I don't know. I think it might be better because you're talking bigger butts, nice boobs, like. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm thinking with my no, but like, I don't know. I feel like there would still be like world problems because then there would be something else. There would always be something else, and that's like
new problems.
Yeah,
Oh,
there'd
yeah,
always be new
sure.
problems. Like, for example, religion would still be a fucking problem.
True.
You know what I mean? If everybody was the same fucking race, then there would still be a problem with religion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it even
like-
goes deeper than that as well. Because it's like, even though people look identical, then there's always going to be things that certain people don't have. There'd still be homelessness. There'd still be,
differences.
yeah, like somebody has this that Johnny has a Xbox and Dennis doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, as
Now,
Just a curious dog.
now if it was like everybody was the exact same, like what Ike was talking about, or like no genders, nothing, blah blah blah. Yeah, I imagine there probably wouldn't be any problems, but I also imagine that would be a boring fucking world.
That'd be a boring world.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, there would be
That was my argument too.
Yeah,
I'm
like
sorry, I cut
no,
you off.
you're fine. Like I personally like love all ethnicities, like boy or girl, right? I love all, especially since I've been to Korea, right?
Uh-huh.
And I met a lot of different people from around the world.
I feel like our generation is way more accepting than like the generation above us, and especially the generation above that.
Yeah.
Like in comparison. Yeah, in comparison to those two other generations. Like, I feel like we're way more accepting of other ethnicities and other races and gay people, just in everything.
Right. And
Oh shit, should we get him real quick? Yeah. Hey buddy. Charlie in the chocolate factory.
the Charlie.
Dude, your dog is impressing me. He's opening all these doors.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Does he have thumbs?
Like, I don't know what's up with that dog, but I don't know, dude. Like I said, like, even though everyone would be the same, like I guess like we're all agreeing, I feel like there would still be problems no matter what.
Yeah.
There's always with the human race, there's always problems.
So do you think you said religion would probably be a problem? Do you think religion is kind of determined by geography, or do you think it's determined more by ethnicity? Because if you look at like the Middle East, that's more Muslim. If you look at the U.S., Europe, that's more Protestant, Catholic, Christian, whatever. And then like more the eastern parts of the world are more like Buddhist. So do you think that's more determined by race, or do you think it's more determined by geography?
I don't know. My personal opinion, and this is my personal opinion, and people may disagree with this, but I honestly think it's on whoever the fuck wrote it up.
Like, what do you mean by that?
It's not so much about like where it was, or what religion it was, or what location it was at. It was about at that time somebody believed in something, wrote a book about it, and then other people started believing about it.
And then it spread around that particular area.
Yeah. And
so you would say it's more geography then?
So it's whoever... No, it's not even geography. It's whoever decided to write a book about something that they believed in, and other people took it off. You know what I mean? And other people took off with it. Like, if you think about the Bible as a perfect example, like Christianity, right? They wrote a book, like... all the disciples got together and they wrote this book, right? Called the Bible, right? And this is what they believed in, right? This is what they saw. This is, blah, 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 right? And then Christianity took off, right? From there on out. Now, had they wrote this book and the next person was like, nah, fuck that, I don't believe that. Christianity would be dead. You'd never even hear of Christianity, right?
Totally.
If you think about Jehovah's Witness, right? He did like a Jehovah's Witness, right? Whoever the man was that came up with, and they claim, hey, this is what religion is, right? You know what I mean? And
and nobody else accepted it,
right? Or had he not come up with that, or Buddhism, right? Had they not come up with that belief system, right? Then it would just never exist. But then there would always be somebody else who'd come up with something else, who somebody else would end up believing in. You follow me?
Yeah, totally.
So like, it's all like it's a pebble in the pond, right? It's a ripple effect. Like one person says this, and then it doesn't matter where you are.
And it's kind of taking the best option too. Like the best philosophy to your life is kind of what you implement with religion, or the best option that they see in front of them. So typically, if you're from the United States, most people I know that are religious, they're usually Catholic.
Right.
See, what I think it more so is for me is I do believe that it kind of is like a more geography-based type thing, because it's just like, I feel like it's like this. Like, say, you're in school, you're surrounded by kids who wear Nikes, they swear by Nikes and stuff like that. So, new kid comes in and, sees all the kids wearing Nikes, and they come up to the new kid, they're like, oh my god, Nikes are so great, Nikes are this, Nikes are that, blah, blah, blah. Over time, and say, whenever he first got into the school, he's wearing Adidas.
Okay.
So over time, I feel like the longer he's in that environment, the more he'll kind of start shifting over towards Nikes. You know what I mean? So
he'll start to conform.
Yeah, So that's basically what I'm saying. So I think it's all about the area that you're in. Pretty much, it's kind of hard to think of it and put it into what I'm trying to say.
No, I see what you're saying. Because if you go to a different country, right? If you go to Korea's a bad example because they believe in Christianity. But if you go to Asia, right? East Asia, up in the where Buddhism lives, and you live there, right? Eventually, you will start to kind of.
I feel like you'll want to more so study that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
figure out what works for you. So I feel like it's more so in a sense, the human brain and stuff like that.
Right.
Trying to figure out what you, take these pieces and be like, oh wow, that's something that I feel like I could get behind. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's kind of what I feel like religion is. And at the same time, to me personally, this is my personal opinion, and I'm sorry to everyone who's kind of in that religious kind of realm and stuff like that, but I kind of don't believe in that, because I kind of think that religion is kind of like this.
Well, you're not the apologist for your beliefs, but
I kind of feel like it's a hindrance on people.
Yeah.
It's just a way to kind of I feel like it's definitely to me, religion is like a hindrance. I guess that's the kind of word I'm looking for. Is like it's a hindrance. It's like something to control people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe religion kind of is. It's like they have like in the government, they have like these laws like you can't kill anyone because of this, you can't kill anyone that, blah blah blah. And I feel like they have that in the Bible. You cannot kill.
Well, it makes sense if you can control the masses' value system, then you can ultimately you'll have a lot more control over that. Right. And I mean, if you look at the history of Catholicism, like Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King, like not Martin Luther King Jr., but Lutheran, back in I think it was the 1500s, I believe. He started that whole entire religion because there was so much, just what's the, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. I guess just deception within the church, within the church.
To kind of hit on that, and I agree. Like I think a lot of it's like through control, and if you look at the past, if you look throughout history, like even the Pope, right, today, right, they have a huge say in the way things go, and the way the world works, right? Because like religion and politics, right, they say it's two different things, but it's not, right? They are correlated. Like he says, like no man should kill, right? Okay, cool. No man. You look at the Bible, it says the same fucking thing. You know, don't kill. It's a sin, right? It was for how long that it was illegal for a man to marry another man, right? Because of why? Because the fucking Bible, right? Now, here's the other thing. Here's the other divide that I see in religion, is that, and this is more mental, right? For me, and this is what I see, anytime I go to church with my parents or, because I'll still go to church with them. If that's what they believe in, that's what they believe in. And I'm not going to knock them for that. Right. You know what I mean? And, but anytime I go to church and I see them praising and I see them doing this and I see them doing that, and they have all these reasons why they should praise and why they should be forgiven and why they should follow, and it's all based around this thing that says, you're not perfect, right? And so, you will be forgiven and you will go to heaven if you ask for forgiveness, right? Because they don't want to be caught in damnation for the rest of their life. It's all, and this is where the divide is, right? Because it's a fear factor, right? It's if you don't do these things, if you don't ask for forgiveness, you're going to be burning in hell for the rest of your life. Okay. But if you don't believe in hell, then hell doesn't exist. You know what I mean? That's what I believe in.
That's literally like okay. This is kind of where I think the heaven and hell thing kind of like comes into play too. Is whenever like this is what I've heard, at least. I'm not gonna say it's facts or anything like that, but maybe it is facts. I don't know. I think it is facts. But whenever you die, DMT releases and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And then like this is kind of
that's a fact.
So like what I personally think heaven and hell is, because how long does that DMT get released into your brain?
Well, it's only like it only lasts for like it doesn't last very long. It only lasts like 30 seconds to a minute, I believe. But
this is what I think it is. I think in those 30 seconds, even though it's like this, in real time, I think in your brain as that's being released, I feel like that could be like an eternity in your brain. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't really like process that if you're dead.
Yeah, apparently whenever you try dimethyltryptamine, like the effect is a big part of the effect is that you lose sense of time. Apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like, and dude, you guys should look up. I think his name's like Joe Rogan. He talked about this shit. He says this shit.
He's a big reason why I started Joe Rogan's a huge reason why I started this podcast.
But like when you die, or when you dream. Not even when you die, when you dream. And I literally did a speech about this, but I did it on sleep paralysis. But anyways, when you dream, you have no sense of time. You are the closest to death that you will ever be. Your breathing slows, your heart rate slows. You are unconscious to the world, right? And when you dream, you have no perception of time.
None.
Right? So when that DMT is released, when you are, let's put it this way. When you're super dead tired and you go to sleep, you hit the pillow and you sink into your pillow and you're out, right? You ever slept so hard that you had a dream and you woke up and you were sweating and you felt like it was the realest dream you've ever had?
Yes.
Like, that was a major release of DMT because your body had been lacking it that whole day, right? The day prior. That's why you were so tired. So, what he's talking about, when you die, the DMT is released, there's no perception of time, which why is it that right now I'm not dead, you know what I mean? And I'm just going through the motions that I went through before I died. You know what I mean? In my own head.
Okay.
So I'm still in my own body. I've still died multiple times, but this is just happening over and over and over. And I'm just stuck in this time period. The world has moved on, right? And there's the future. That's there's probably flying cars and shit, but I'm 6 feet under the ground. You know what I mean? But
a little bit.
Over and over and over and over again. And every time I die, it's just over and over. It's like dream. It's like Inception. You know what I mean? Instead of going deeper into dreams, you're just restarting every time you die.
And then too, what I kind of think hell is too, is kind of like,
which in and of itself is kind of hell.
This is like what I think hell is too, and what heaven is I say it's more so like experiences and stuff that you've maybe went through and stuff. Like maybe hell to somebody is so let's take a war veteran. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing whenever he's dead, he maybe constantly sees people around him dying and stuff like that, and that's just what he sees in his sense of time forever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And maybe say in heaven, maybe say your mom died before you. You know what I'm saying? And you get to always see your mom in that perception of time. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that made you the happiest.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that's heaven. You seeing all this shit happen in front of you, that's hell. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you take your worst experiences and that's just the thing that kind of loops over to make it hell.
And what when he was saying about the whole DMT being released, another point to hit on that is like when you have a deja vu, it's because it's happened before, right? And so who's to say that that's not you reliving that moment? Because you're just doing it over again and over again.
Where do you think it happened before? Like maybe possibly a past life, or
so it happened before, and then
past life regression kind of deal, or
but what I was saying before with the whole religion thing. Before we get too off topic, I mean it is on topic, but it's a little off. But with the whole religion side of it, and this is something that it's so hard to talk to my parents about this because they want me to be a believer. Yeah, they want me to be religious. But anytime I go to a thing, and it's always the same thing. It's always about, hey, we get it. You're struggling. You haven't believed in God, and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? And you need to believe in Him, and everything will be fine. And then my mom always nudges me. Right, every time we go, he's talking about you, and I'm like, yeah, he talked about me the past 3 times.
And then what their advice to it is 5 Hail Marys and go get on your knees and pray to God.
It's weird because we really are the first generation to start questioning these things.
Yeah, it's a fear thing, and what's happening, and this is where I keep going back to this divide, is us as the new what they call millennials, right, are starting to realize that hey. This shit's not real. You know
I wouldn't even say realize. I'd say more so question it. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe it is real. Maybe
is this real? Yeah, totally.
But who? Exactly. Yeah. But who's to say that they know about it? You know what I mean? Why should they? It's all like you said. It's the questioning part, right? Why is God talking to him and not me? If God is Almighty. Right? If God can talk to everybody, why is the pastor the one that he talks through and I just gotta listen to him? You know what I mean? And then I was talking to my mom about how God created Jesus because he is perfect, because we are imperfect, right? And I was like, well, God created us in his image, so therefore that means he is imperfect, right?
Okay.
And does it not? You know what I mean?
I don't think it was just more so Jesus was perfect. I think what the Bible was for Jesus was that he put him on the earth to take
away our sins.
Yeah, to take away our sins or something like that.
No, that's literally what, I dove into this shit. he was put on the earth to take away our sins.
Right.
So he was the only perfect being. He was God in a human form.
So God reincarnate. Then.
Like God consciousness kind of
Right.
deal.
So if essentially he was that's why what was her name? They were about to stone this woman. Back then stoning was not getting high. Stoning was actually brutally murdered by a bunch of stones. But like they were about to stone her. They were about to throw a bunch of stones, and he said that famous quote that he who has not sinned may cast the first stone, right? And nobody threw a stone, right? Because Jesus was a representation of a perfect being. And therefore he died for all of our sins because we are not. Right? And so that's where I don't so much get upset, but that's where I start to question. You know what I mean? And I'm like, but it also says in the Bible that God created us in his image. Right? And so
I'm not familiar with that, but okay.
So if he created us in his image, okay, and we made a mistake, then doesn't that mean that he also made a mistake by creating us in his image? Right? Because if you created something, if you create a robot, okay, let's put it this way, like iRobot's a perfect example,
okay,
right? They created a robot. The robot was supposed to do its job, right? But it didn't. It did something else. It started questioning, right? It started doing other things and became its own AI, right? So the person who made it actually failed at doing his job because he was supposed to make a robot who was supposed to do the same thing every day on the dot. And it didn't. It malfunctioned. Right?
Because it had emotions, right?
Right.
Something
because
like that.
because it errored out, right?
Okay.
So essentially that's what God did. He created a being in his image, and it was supposed to be the perfect being, but it malfunctioned. So therefore, in and of itself...
Like referring to Jesus?
No, referring to God. Referring to Adam and Eve.
Oh, okay.
Right? Referring to Adam and Eve. So Adam and Eve, he created Adam and Eve, and they were supposed to be the perfect beings. And then the snake came to them with the apple, saying... he said, this is a forbidden fruit, don't eat this apple. The snake came around and said, hey, you should try this apple. Right? And so they ate the apple.
I think it was Adam who ate the apple.
I don't remember who it was, but they ate the apple.
No, it was Eve. It's Eve.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just know, right, they ate the apple, therefore they became flawed.
Okay.
So therefore the human race after that was a flawed race. So to mitigate us from our sins, God sent down his only son and sacrificed his only son, which back then the only son was like, if you had one son and that was all you had, right? He was like, like God to you, right? That was like, you wanted him to live, you wanted him to pursue something, you wanted him to do something, but instead God kills his own son. Well, no, he doesn't kill him. He watches him die and he lets him die. Right? Essentially. And in the Bible, Jesus even cries out God's name and is like, why are you doing this? And he tells Jesus, hey, I'm doing this because you are the chosen one. You're supposed to mitigate everybody from their sins. Everybody else will be sin-free because of you. Right? That doesn't mean that we don't do sins, because we do. There's lust, there's love, love is not a sin. There's lust, there's drinking, there's, killing, all that, right? It still goes on. But my point is that God created a being
that was imperfect,
that was supposed to be of his image.
So here you're referring to Jesus.
So no. Here I'm referring to Adam and Eve.
Okay.
Sorry. God creates Adam and Eve, right? And they are supposed to be perfect because they are supposed to be in his image.
Until they eat the forbidden fruit.
Until they're flawed. And now God has made the mistake of creating a flawed human being. Because do you see what I'm saying? Because and it's just like iRobot, where they had emotions, they started questioning things, right? It's like the same fucking plot, right? And it's like, that's where I was like, how are you gonna tell me that God's perfect, right? Now, don't get me wrong. If God was like, hey, dude, I get it, I'm not perfect either. We're not perfect. Like, shit happens. Cool. Come up to heaven and fucking party. I'd be like, cool, I'm on board. You know what I mean? I get it. I'm with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I don't trust somebody who is not perfect. Because somebody who is not perfect has not experienced. You know what I mean? And that's where...
Well, the only people
someone
who
who's
can't
not
trust are
perfect.
imperfect.
Yeah, so what you're trying to say...
Or somebody who is perfect. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right.
So you're saying you would never trust somebody who is perfect?
Right. Somebody who has never made a mistake. Somebody who has never done something sin-wise. Somebody who has never...
I've never put much thought into that.
Because that's literally like what he's saying is literally like, you going to the hospital, seeing a newborn baby, and asking the baby, what do I do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. Because in a sense, a baby has never sinned. It just got born into the world.
Somebody
and never made a mistake.
Imagine somebody's been kept.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, imagine somebody's been kept in their house their whole life. Right? They never experienced the outside world.
Right.
Right? And they go out and you meet this person. And you say, hey, you know, whatever, I just... Say you're like, hey, I just saw this person put down a tip for this waitress, right? But I snatched it off the table, don't tell anybody. Right? Now, not saying that's obviously a bad thing and I would never say to do that.
Right.
But you as a person have just flawed, right? You as a person have just made a mistake, right?
But that's also something according to the Bible in a sense as well.
Right.
Because it's like, this is where I'm going to kind of like be a little bit weird with it. What is right and what is wrong? Because if someone in a sense wrote this Bible,
right,
and they said, "Hey, this is right and this is wrong,"
because it's all relative.
Yeah, like
hold that thought. Hold that thought, because we're gonna get off topic. So hold that thought just for a second. Let me finish this out real quick. So my point is that that person is a flawed person, right?
Right.
Who steals the money off of the tables, right? But this person who goes in would never steal the money off of the tables. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that's a good thing. I would never wish that upon anybody. I don't want anybody to go out and steal off the tables. But if this person who steals off the tables gets caught, guess what he's not going to do anymore? He's not going to steal off those tables, right? And he's learned, right, not to steal off those tables, right? Now,
because it's considered wrong, right?
Right, because it's considered wrong. And it's in our world, and we'll get into
definitely
the
is dishonest.
Right. Now, if we get into a serious situation, because that's not a very serious situation. That's just a very light-hearted, like, okay, just to kind of throw an example. Yeah. So let's get into a more serious situation. Let's say it's life or death, right?
Okay.
And you have to put your life in this person's hand who has no fucking idea what it's like out in the street life, right? So you go out, let's say you go out down in St. Louis, right? Down like East St. Louis, right? And you're like, all right, listen, dude. Like, I got a gun on me. All right, don't tell anybody I got a gun on me. This is for our protection in case anybody holds us up.
Is this a total stranger or who?
No, this is the guy who has never experienced anything outside of his house that you're talking to.
Okay.
You're putting your trust in his hands.
Wow.
Right? And then somebody draws a gun, happens, right? Hey, give me your money, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yo, don't mess with us. He's got a gun. Now you've become a target, and he's going to shoot you first.
Yep.
Right? Now your life is on the line because of that perfect person. Right? And this all ties back.
So you're saying, so basically like being deceptive at times is more trusting because they can lie for
a good reason.
Right. So, or at least to save your life.
Right.
But in a sense, too, that will kind of make you imperfect as well. And then with that situation that you brought up, that will make that that then perfect person imperfect because, in a sense, he got you killed.
But he was being honest.
That is actually very true, though.
That's the point. He was being honest.
Too honest.
Lie. Right. He wasn't. He was trying to be the best person that he could be, and he ended up getting somebody killed over it. Now, that's where, and call it my military side, right? But that's where that line is drawn, right? Is like, okay, who do I want to be with? The kid who is inexperienced, or the guy who's been through some shit?
But that's the same thing. I mean? But this goes into you're bringing someone who, I guess, in this sense, perfect into an imperfect world.
Right.
There's only so much you can do if you're perfect in an imperfect world. Because in an imperfect world, you can't change people's mindsets on if they're going to kill you or if they're not. They already got it in their mind if they're going to kill you and if they're not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but
right, like, and that's kind of like God just himself. So say God himself comes down onto this planet. And he's like, all right, I'm going to try and make some things happen. Mm-hmm. It's already an imperfect world. What the fuck can he do?
Right. But that's my point, right? He created it. He created it. You know what I mean? So why is it that if he created it, right, if this is what the religion believes in, okay, and this is where my questioning comes in, this is where my deception comes in. If he is the one who created it, and he knows it's imperfect, right, and then he sent Jesus down, right, this perfect being, to die for our sins, essentially he honestly didn't even have to do that. He didn't have to send them down because he already knew that the world was imperfect, and he could have already just forgiven us. He didn't have to go out and let somebody die for it.
By just accepting that it isn't perfect.
By just accepting that it's imperfect, right? Just like how I accept that you're different from me and you're different from me, right? And we have our imperfections. You know what I mean? Like, you're still my friends and I still love you for it. You know what I mean? You know, it's the same concept. If you have a kid, you created that kid. By science, you have used your DNA and your wife or spouse's DNA to create a child. And if that child is imperfect, you're not going to shun him. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
yeah. Well, you're going to expect it to be imperfect.
Right. But here's the best part, right? You're not going to have another fucking kid and then go let him die for the kid that you had before because you know he's imperfect. You see what I'm saying? Like, that just sounds absurd. And then they think I'm crazy. You know what I mean?
Like, oh, Johnny, he stole from the table. All right, you got to die.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Like,
Somebody's gonna die.
Like they're like, you know, and here's the thing, and here's where they argue, and here's where the argument is that, oh, God didn't kill Jesus, God let Jesus die. Fair enough, but that's like saying, you know, oh, like Timmy and Johnny are here, right? And Timmy shit his pants, right? So now Timmy's imperfect. All right, Johnny, go outside and go freeze to death. You know what I mean? I'm not, by technicality, right? I'm not killing them.
Oh, that'd be a terrible world to live in. Any imperfection, like
right,
and yeah,
and that's where it's that and at that point that religion thus now sounds crazy.
So what about this? So God theoretically is in a very perfect entity, right? Mm-hmm. Or creator, whatever you think of whenever you think of God. But typically, when you think of God, it's the persona that it has is that it's that God is perfect. Mm-hmm. So if, like we were saying earlier, a perfect world would be extremely boring. Like it'd be I guess it'd be cool in a lot of ways, but it'd be boring. It'd be fucking boring. Like all the controversy, all the conflict. That's kind of what makes this world interesting. Mm-hmm. All the different races and all that. So if you have this perfection, then wouldn't you want to create something that's super imperfect? And that's the perfection of the imperfection?
I guess. I mean, yeah. And that's where it all comes down. You know, and then it all comes down to like. And I'll end on this. This will be my last spiel. I'm not. Like I said, I'm still researching it. I'm not like a not believer, but I'm not. Sorry. I don't believe, but I don't not believe.
You're questioning it. And it's healthy. It's extremely healthy to question.
So there are times where I'll be driving and I'll be like, all right, God, like if you are like a real thing, you know what I mean? Like, talk to me. You know, do something. And then there are other times where I'm like, all right, he doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way.
But like, here's where, and like I said, this is where I'm gonna stop. I'll stop talking about it. But and I'll let you talk about your wrongs and rights. But like, it all comes down to, and if it is even real. You know what I mean? Like, it could have easily, all of this could have easily been made up. The whole religion could have easily been made up. And what I mean by that is like, a group of guys get together and they say, hey, we don't like Judaism anymore. So let's make our own religion.
Right, yeah.
And so they get down and they start writing this book.
Different times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They start writing their own book, right, about this new religion. Right? These are the only people who have ever fucking seen Jesus. Okay? Remember that. Nobody else has ever seen or written down. There's no documentation that anybody else has ever seen or witnessed.
Really? Besides the 12 disciples? No shit.
Yeah, except for these disciples. From what I'm tracking. Right? There's no other documentation.
What about all the miracles he made? Like all that? Like,
right.
Like
but it's all been told through stories.
Through the grapevine, yeah.
Right. It's all been...
And we all know how the game of telephone goes.
Right. And so one of the things that was said in the Bible when he's risen, so Easter, right? When he talks about like how he has risen and he moved the boulder and he came out of his grave, right? A lot of questions arise and that happens. Okay, so the guard was asleep or knocked out or something like that, or wasn't around, and then he came back and all of a sudden the boulder was moved and he was gone. Or, if you're speaking realistically, the guard was probably either A, knocked out or killed, And then the other guard that happened to be gone, because there was 2 guards there,
Right.
that happened to be gone, came back, and whoever it was, so if they had enough force to move the boulder to block it, then they obviously had enough force to move the boulder to open it back up, or somebody did, right? So somebody opens it back up, takes the body, if there is one, right? We're talking about if there was one. Takes the body, or Jesus walks out, or whatever, right? And the guard comes back, and this is literally from what I understand, because I have a couple Jewish friends, that in Judaism, when the guard came back, the king told him, all right, you're just going to tell everybody that like you were knocked out. And he paid him off, right? And so like that's questionable. You know what I mean?
True.
That's like, why the fuck would they say that? You know what I mean? So, in essence, it all could have just been a huge hoax that these guys came together, wrote a book because they just didn't like Judaism, because they're like us, right? They're a bunch of guys who were like, hey, we don't like
They're questioning Judaism,
right?
Because in the sense too, because didn't in those they had kings and stuff as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
So couldn't that have been like a factor in it as well, as the king kind of enforced Judaism, because that's what religion kind of is in a way.
Did. That's why he died. That's why in the book. That's why he died, and that's a perfect. Is that not like a perfect way to get away with a book? At the end, he dies and he goes away, and there's no proof of him anymore. That's why there's no bones. That's why there's no. You know what I mean? He vanishes, and so like.
Wait. Yeah. What is the? Because he comes back to life and then he just goes away.
No, he comes back and then he's crucified on the cross.
But I thought he was crucified on Good Friday. On that Friday, and then on Easter Sunday he comes back.
No, he was because I thought that too. I thought that too, and I forget exactly how he died the first time. Or died.
So he wasn't originally killed on the cross? Wait, what?
No, he was. That's where he died. He died on the cross, which is why you wear a cross. Right? Because that's where he died and he vanished. And after that, they came back and there was no body on the cross. Right?
On Good Friday.
As far as how he died whenever he was put in the tomb, I don't remember. But my point being is that when you're writing a book, right, you get a bunch of guys together and you're writing a book like that, when you want somebody to believe, you want it to be enough to be believable, but vague enough to where they can't find evidence.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's like the perfect getaway. It's like a heist, right? That's the perfect getaway. He was, from God, right? And there was, and then all of a sudden when he died, he vanishes. There's no evidence of him, right? And that's how the book, and that not necessarily how it ends, but like that's how he ends. That's how his legacy dies, right? Is that he vanishes. So if anybody tries to go and tries to look him up and try to dig for him, they won't find him because in the book it says that he was gone, and that's what they're going to believe. You see what I'm saying?
Makes you question things.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I am still researching it. I still go to church every once in a while because I want to hear what they have to say.
Right.
And I want to see if maybe
listen to it with an open mind.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but that is my perception on it right now. That's where I have what conclusion I have come up with. You know what I mean? And who knows? A lot of people say that if his bones were to be found, they would not believe in him anymore. But I say the opposite.
Why would people say that if they found the bones, they wouldn't believe in him?
Because in the Bible, he vanished. There was no bones. And they believe that.
Oh, okay, well.
Right. So, but I'm the opposite. I say if they found Jesus' bones and they documented that this was Jesus' bones.
Well, that sounds more plausible, yeah.
Exactly. Now you're speaking logically. Now you're like, okay, he's been here on this earth. You know what I mean?
That's evidence. That's direct evidence.
Exactly. So, but if you believe, then it is told that, or if a lot of believers say that if they found his bones, they wouldn't believe anymore.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
So I feel
I've never heard that before.
Now there's another topic for you. If they found Jesus' bones, how would that flip the world?
Oh, like the reaction to it.
Yeah.
So then, would that make more Jewish people just be like, okay, maybe I am wrong with where I'm going? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Cause like this too, like with churches and religion and stuff like that, this is another reason why I guess I could kind of question it is, why would I listen to someone who's supposedly imperfect tell me about someone who is perfect? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
'Cause how would you, as an imperfect being, know what perfection is? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
True.
Because, like, I feel like that's kind of a... Because,
Well,
like you know...
how do you define perfection?
You haven't lied, you haven't stolen. Like, who's to say this preacher isn't lying to me as I'm going to church every single day?
For their own personal gain.
Yeah.
Exactly. And for real, that's what churches kind of do have their own personal gain. They don't get taxed.
Who's that guy in Texas? That preacher in Texas?
I'm not sure.
Dude's like a
Is it Olstein?
I don't.
Does he have like that?
Because
Because I know there's another dude too that's like in I don't know his name, but
No, this one was in Texas because they had the flood and he wasn't letting people in. And this dude's like a multimillionaire. And he's a priest.
Oh.
Yeah. And he was.
yeah, because there's another dude too who was in like L.A. and he has like the dude who Justin Bieber goes to his church and stuff like that. Like, and this dude literally like I think tours and stuff like that, and like he's a millionaire, and you see him wearing like all this like super hype beast type stuff, and
It's crazy how you can find these people who are able to profit off religion like this.
exactly, and that's kind of why I think religion is kind of flawed in itself as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like you kind of see it as like a way to kind of, you see it as a get rich scheme. You know, churches don't get taxed. You know what I'm saying? You know, people who come through are willing to give money because they believe in this thing so goddamn hard. They're willing to give away their hard-earned money in order for something that they believe in. You know what I'm saying? Like that I don't know that.
Dude, that's true though. You want to make money, be a priest or
Like,
a pastor.
it's dead ass, dude. And you just get up and just talk in front of people about your perception of what God is and talk about
it's your definition of the Bible essentially.
Right.
And it's like
Your interpretation.
literally you can go in front of a group of people and say, hey, listen, I get it. I could go in front of a group of people and preach. Because all I have to tell them is I can say, hey, listen, I was where you were once. I didn't believe. But now I do.
And look at me now.
Yeah. I tell you what, back in the day, I used to smoke the devil's leaf and drink the devil's juice. You know what I mean? Like, but look at me now. With the grace of God, I've become a priest and I am, holy. And you can do it too. And now I've just preached to a whole bunch of people who are like, yes,
That's
I agree with
like-
that.
Yeah,
Like,
you're gonna
I'm
get
like-
better. You're gonna get more. I mean, if your goal is to manipulate people, you're gonna get more manipulative.
And all you tell them is you say, hey, if you want to be more like me, just pray and forgive and
get
give
better
to
at
the
finding,
church.
empathizing with people and adding value to their life, like knowing what they're gonna need. Like that's a skill. It's a skill, and it's deceptive as well. Obviously,
Right. And if
but-
you
You're
believe in
literally,
me,
it's
then-
like being a con man.
Yeah,
Basically.
if you believe in me, then you'll give to the church, and then they give money, and the church grows.
Cause then it's like too. It's okay. It's like Family Guy type shit. Like whenever Peter made the church of like the Fonz, or whatever, he just found people and was like, "Yo, believe in the Fonz," like stuff like that. Just
And he's like quoting movie scenes from the Fonz.
yeah, like I don't know, dude. Like, religion's just a weird thing for me, man. I don't know, cause there's so many questions in my mind about it. Like,
do you think religion will ever become obsolete?
Never.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think that's
Everybody's
ever gonna
gonna
be a thing.
always believe in something.
Right.
There's always gonna be a belief system because
People need that comfort.
exactly people are afraid of what they don't know, and so they need something that will tell them about the unknown.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so
As long as there's death and people and a fear of death, then there's gonna be religion.
Why do you think that fear of death has such a strong correlation to
People want to believe that there's a life
afterlife.
beyond this. You know what I'm saying? They want to be comforted by the fact that this is not it. You know
this
what
is
I'm
not
saying?
the end?
Yeah, this is not the
when
this
this ends. Okay.
Yeah, there's something more. People are afraid of what they don't know.
So
they
you
don't
believe
know
there's
what
something
that
more?
is. To a sense, I do. But my idea of what I believe kind of death is kind of like, I guess it can be something that other people do believe. I believe in energy, in a sense, is what I kind of believe. I believe the human body is energy, and I do believe that energy gets transferred over. We get put into the ground, that energy gets maybe put onto the earth somewhere, and grass, trees, bushes, whatever the fuck, all that shit.
You feed the ground feeds the animals feed more humans.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? The cycle continues. I see that. I think, and I agree with. There's a scientist who talks. I can't remember his name. He's a really, really famous scientist. He talks about death, and he asks. I think he was asking another scientist. He said, do you believe that there's, like, he's asked, do you believe if there's an afterlife or that after death? And he said no. He said, I believe nothing happens when you die, right? Which is like brutal. I mean, that's a brutal thing to. That's scary. It's scary as fuck. But one of the things he also asked, or one of the things he said, he's like, okay, if you didn't die, like, what would happen? You know what I mean? What would happen in the world if you didn't die? You know what I mean?
Like you personally, or just
because
people in general?
Like no,
immortal.
If people were immortal. And this is a huge, and I totally agree with this guy. This guy is awesome. I need to remember his name. He said, because if you're, or he asked me, he said, if you could live forever, would you do it? And the other guy's like, yeah, I would live forever. Now this is the scientist asking the other guy, right?
Okay.
And the other guy's like, yeah, I'd live forever. And he's like, why? Why would you want to live forever? And he was like, because then I could just do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. You know what I mean? And he was like, okay. He's like, fair enough. But he said, but also you don't have to do that. You don't have to do it right now. He said, see, death motivates us. Death gives us a purpose. Death makes us move.
That's the
forward.
paradox of death, because the more you accept it and the more you think about death and accept it as a very real, inevitable reality, the more you start living life. It's weird how that works.
It's like how adrenaline junkies work. You know what I mean? Like
you only live once.
Yeah.
YOLO.
Exactly.
YOLO.
Yeah. That's whenever you get back to Drake and stuff like that.
you live like on the edge, like living on the edge, like close to death is the most alive you'll ever be.
That's also Lil Wayne.
Oh yeah.
Life on the edge, I'm dangling my feet. I tried to pay attention, but attention paid me.
Yeah, man. So that's I like to think sometimes, like, I don't know, my perception always changes on death. Sometimes I like to think it's like a little guy with his what's that called?
Billy and Mandy.
Yeah.
The pitchfork.
No, not the scythe. It's like a scythe. Yeah, thank you. And he's like, got a scythe, and then I like to think of it like the Family Guy one. He was like, what's up, man? And I'm just like,
high five.
Yeah. He's like, gets him every time. But no, like sometimes like my imagination takes it, and I imagine like when you die, he like shows up, and you're just like, oh shit. He's like, yep, you're dead, and you're just like, so what now? He's like, I don't know. What do you want to do? Like, you know what I mean? And you just kind of hang out with death. Like that's that's how I like to think of it. You know what I mean? So, but
Well, I like that. I like that.
yeah. So,
You guys have anything else to say? Anything else on your mind?
I think I'm good.
That guy, I was writing down, because I like to write down all the topics, so I know what to name it, and this is the order it went in. Nose rings to strip clubs to it went nose rings, South Korea to strip clubs to gays to like the whole imperfection and the whole philosophical.
Yeah.
And then, now here we are.
No.
Religion. That was a good conversation.
Yeah,
That
for
was
sure,
fun.
for sure.
I liked it.
Just need to get some heat up in
I've been sitting here with my fucking hands in my crotch this entire time.
My feet are freezing right now because I just got on bands right
It's
now.
so cold here.
Dude,
so
I know.
cold.
There needs to be some heat up in this bitch, for sure.
I
Sorry,
agree.
my dog shit in your house.
No, it's fine.
I'll clean it up.
Well, the weird thing about it is it smelled really bad at first.
Yeah,
but I
and
haven't smelled it since.
that's because we adjusted the smell.
This dude was standing over here going like this, and I was like, I'm just gonna take
We're
it.
just adapting. Oh, that's gross.
Because anytime, whenever I lean back, I could slightly smell it. but it's not as bad as it was before. Because like you said, I was literally over here just like sniffing my ring, pretty much like taking in that sweet metal, just like
This smells so much better than shit. Like,
So,
yeah, dude.
all right, man. Well,
you guys want to? Do any of you guys have a like decent phone? Because we get to. So the camera died a little bit ago, and if we take a selfie, then I'll just put that on for the audio footage, like for like whenever the camera dies from then on.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
yeah.
Well, cool. That's the send off. If you guys listened, I enjoyed this one a lot. That got a lot deeper than I thought. Like that was awesome. That was fun.
That was good. Now you're gonna go home and take an 8-hour nap and check Tinder.
Ooh. I was actually thinking about downloading Tinder recently.
Yeah,
So how are we gonna take this
mine's
selfie?
actually been screwing up, but
Or take a picture,
you want to take it next to the poop?
dude. Like,
I'm actually down with that. That's funny. Let's do it.